What do you think of when you hear the term load management thrown around?
It shouldn't be needed, first and foremost.
Stop this BS with load management. We can't keep crapping on the fans where we're like, wait, you're making $70 million. You can't play basketball 4 days a week.
The people that I've always had issues or problems with are the people that don't demand excellence for themselves. I won't tolerate that.
The NBA has changed, and not in a good way. We're living through the softest era in basketball history, where sitting out healthy has become normal, where rest days matter more than respect for the game, and where fans are left holding expensive tickets to watch superstars and designer sweats on the bench. Let's talk about what basketball used to be, what it's become, and the shocking numbers that prove everything you've been feeling is real. Imagine this. You're a regular person working overtime all week just to afford one NBA ticket. You save up, you plan your night, you bring your kid, and the star you came to see? He plays. No questions asked. Not because he has to, but because he believes you deserve it. That was the mindset of legends. Playing wasn't just a job, it was an obligation to the fans who made the league possible. These players understood something fundamental. When someone spends their hard-earned money to watch you perform, you owe them your absolute best effort. No excuses, no shortcuts, no convenience-based decisions. The greatest players had an unwritten code. If you could walk onto the court, you played. Simple as that. This wasn't about being reckless or ignoring medical advice. It was about pride, professionalism, and understanding that the game was bigger than any individual's comfort level. Take the numbers from the past. In 1980, 56 players completed all 82 games. The next year, 57 did it. Throughout the entire 1990s, the pattern held strong. Nearly 60 players every single season were Ironmen. That's more than 2 full rosters of guys who never took a night off. They played through ankle sprains, flu symptoms, family tragedies, and exhaustion.
Why?
Because that's what professionals did. The game was bigger than their comfort. Practice was harder than games. Teammates pushed each other relentlessly. There was no coddling, no participation trophies, no strategic rest days. You showed up or you lost your spot. Now, let's look at today. In 2016, that number dropped to just 18 players. By 2022, it hit rock bottom. 5 players out of hundreds completed the full season. 5. Last year, it was 17. Projections for this season hover around 11 from 60 Ironmen to barely a dozen. That's not evolution. That's collapse. And here's the crazy part. Modern players have every advantage imaginable. Private jets, personal chefs, sleep coaches, cryotherapy chambers, and recovery technology that looks like science fiction. Yet somehow, they play less than guys who ice their knees in bathtubs and flew commercial. The 2024 league study confirmed what fans already knew. There's no proven link between sitting out games and preventing injuries. Load management doesn't actually work. It's theater dressed up as science. Basketball used to be about proving yourself every single night. Now it's about preservation. Players treat their careers like investment portfolios, calculating risk versus reward for every game. The mentality has completely flipped from, how can I dominate tonight, to should I even play tonight? One championship run showed teams that resting stars could work, and suddenly everyone copied the blueprint. What started as injury prevention became corporate strategy. Stars began skipping nationally televised games, marquee matchups, and back-to-backs. The league had to literally create rules forcing healthy players to play basketball. Think about that. The NBA now has a 65-game minimum just to qualify for major awards. They had to threaten teams with fines and suspensions just to get stars on the court. One organization was fined $250,000 for resting players on national TV. That's not a league, that's babysitting. The shift is cultural, not just physical. Modern players are surrounded by yes men, brand managers, and advisors telling them to protect their image and preserve their bodies. Everything is calculated. Social media presence, business ventures, and entertainment deals sometimes feel more important than actual basketball performance. The game itself has become secondary to the lifestyle, and look, nobody's saying players should destroy their bodies. But there's a massive difference between legitimate injury recovery and strategic rest for perfectly healthy superstars. When a player making $70 million can't play 4 days a week, something's fundamentally broken in the relationship between players and fans. Here's who really loses: the fans. Families who saved money for months, traveled hours to the arena, and planned their entire week around seeing their favorite player. Then they arrive and find out he's sitting with general soreness or load management. Ticket sales haven't dropped much because casual fans don't check injury reports before buying seats. They show up expecting a show and get robbed. Meanwhile, television ratings have plummeted nearly 40% in recent years. Fans can feel when stars mail it in, the product has lost its magic. Every night used to feel electric because you knew the best were bringing everything they had. Now you have to check Twitter just to see if your team star is even suiting up. The old guard sees this clearly. Multiple Hall of Famers have spoken out, saying today's players are pampered and disrespectful to the game. These aren't bitter old men yelling at clouds. These are Iron Men who played through injuries that would sideline entire rosters today. One legend played through a viral illness so severe he could barely stand, dropped 38 points, and called it respect for the fans. Another tore a major tendon, stood up, hit 2 free throws, then limped off. That wasn't stupidity. That was understanding what the game meant to people. These players didn't have sports scientists, load management coordinators, or recovery specialists. They had ice baths, tape, and pride. They flew commercial airlines sitting in cramped seats the night before games. They practiced harder than they played in actual games. And somehow, they were more durable than today's athletes with every advantage imaginable. The divide isn't just about toughness, it's about philosophy. The older generation played for legacy and respect. Modern stars talk about being smart with their bodies and playing the long game. But longevity means nothing if you're not actually playing. Availability is the best ability, and today's generation has forgotten that there's also the issue of competition. Past players wanted to beat each other every single night. Rivalries meant something because both sides showed up when it mattered. Now, stars coordinate rest days, team up in free agency, and avoid the grind that made their predecessors legendary. The hunger to dominate has been replaced by the desire to manage. Basketball mirrors culture. When the league was built on toughness, grit, and showing up no matter what, it became a global phenomenon. Fans trusted the product. You bought a ticket, you got greatness. Now the league is built on comfort, caution, and calculated rest. And you can see the consequences everywhere. Lower ratings, frustrated fans, and a generation that thinks durability is old-fashioned. If this continues, we'll lose what made basketball special. The unpredictability, the drama, the respect between players and fans. All of it gets replaced by load charts and risk management. This isn't nostalgia. This is a warning. The numbers don't lie. The fans feel it, and the legends are speaking out. The question is whether anyone's listening. What do you think? Is modern basketball too soft? Or is this just smart player management? Drop your thoughts below.